What is up, my veggies? My name is VeggieTales Raymond, and welcome back to another movie review. And today we're going to be reviewing a movie that I watched today, which is Get Out. Now you're probably asking yourself, VeggieTales Raymond, why aren't you reviewed freaking Far From Home yet? I have already seen it. I already went and saw it. I will review it. Let me review this first, because I want to review this while it's fresh in my mind. And let's get into it. I don't see the big deal. This movie was made such a big deal. Everybody was like, oh, it's so good. You gotta watch it. It's a great horror movie. It's so good. It's so good. It's like one of the best movies of 2017. I think that's when it came out. Whatever it came out. Yeah, 2017. I was like, are y'all talking about the same movie? Because, yes, it was alright. I enjoyed it. But it took me a while to get to where I was like, oh! Because, the trailers were, for me, it was kind of misleading. I was expecting a lot more different stuff to this. It was a twist in it that I really did enjoy, but the fact that it doesn't start really get into some of the main story until 30, 40 minutes in, and it doesn't really get to the really interesting stuff until a whole hour in, and it goes in a completely different direction than I thought. This movie has an alternate ending. I don't know if you guys know that. The alternate ending is not the I guess you could say the canon ending. But this movie, it's nothing really that special in my opinion. I've seen way better movies than this. I have seen, I didn't see the big deal about this movie. I do see the racial commentary stuff, and basically the fact it's just hey, racism exists in the world, and I really got that, and I really understood that, and I applaud the movie for doing that. And it's just this movie, it was interesting, and I really was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and what was actually going on while they were doing what they were doing really I was like, that's why? That's why? And there's just some weird things. There's one little scene in this where one character is talking to another character on the phone, and I'm like, what the fudge? What the heck? And it doesn't come out of nowhere because it's like a joke earlier in the movie, and I'm like, a lot of this movie wasn't what I was expecting when I heard the praise about it. There's not so much of this movie that I probably won't watch this again because I really wasn't a huge fan of it. It wasn't horrible. I did like it. It's just I don't understand why it got such big, probably because of the whole dealing with racism thing. I don't know. I'm not trying to start no argument or anything. Sorry for my glasses and everything. But there's a lot of this movie where I was just like, I don't get why it got such a big praise. I'm pretty sure it won an Oscar, which I could see. I do see why it won an Oscar. But there's just a lot of this movie I didn't enjoy. But it's still a pretty interesting film nonetheless. And actually, this guy's newest movie that came out this year, a few months ago, Us, I actually saw before this. I'm not going to talk about Us really in this video because I'm planning on reviewing that eventually. But this really was I was underwhelmed by what happened in this movie, and it's just like I was completely shocked by what this movie did and why it was just not complete and utter disappointment, just it didn't go the direction I thought it was going to, and I didn't see why this movie was such a big deal to everyone when it first came out, because it had things in it that I was like, oh, that's interesting, I haven't seen that before, and there's just so much to this movie that's like I get mixed emotions with it. And a lot of people are probably like, oh, VeggieTales Raymond hated Get Out. Ah! No, I didn't hate Get Out. I rather enjoyed it, but not for the reasons that most other people probably did. It wasn't really spine tingling like I was told it was. It really didn't keep me on the edge of my seat. Like the story was interesting. The twist was interesting. The fact there was an alternate ending was interesting. That's why I'm glad I didn't see this on the big screen, because I don't know if Us has that as well. I might look into that if it does. It might not. It might. I don't know. But this movie, it's done in such a unique way that there's not anything to really hate about this movie. It's just I don't understand the big hype around it. Like, it's not exciting. Well, it's exciting, but it's not exciting actually. Like, and there's ideas that pop in my head in the movie similar to what I had with Child's Play and not Child's Play, Detective Pikachu. When I had ideas like that'd be dumb if they did that. I kind of had the same thoughts in my head going through this, but I didn't feel as disappointed with it as I did with what happened to Detective Pikachu. But there's a lot in this movie where I'm just sitting there thinking, this could have done better. There's just some stuff in this movie that I wish they would have elaborated more on as well, because there's just a lot of this movie where I'm just sitting there thinking, like, this could have been done differently. This could have been done better. This could have done with higher expectations. I heard everything positive about this movie. I heard a few people didn't want to watch it because like my friend Jada, she didn't want to watch it. And I just really think it'd be an interesting. This movie was interesting, and it did things I wouldn't have expected a movie to do. And I've seen stuff like this that have just movies like this that have just. And this didn't do that. I don't think I've ever watched a movie where like the racist commentary was really a big deal to it. Like, it was a huge thing. I really haven't watched a movie where it was that big of a deal in a movie. Like, it was like really that was the main focus of the movie, pretty much. I did like some of the hypnotism stuff was pretty cool, but then like when it got into like the whole the artsy shots, to me, yes, they were artsy and everything, and they looked nice, but they felt out of place in this movie. I don't know why, but it did feel out of place to me. Because just so much to this movie is interesting, but also so much to it doesn't work, in my opinion. Like, I've seen movies do things that this movie tried to do better, and I don't love this movie. I'm sorry, I don't. It was enjoyable for the most part, but it really wasn't exciting. It really didn't break the glass like, is that an expression people say? Break the glass? I don't know. Really didn't break any records or anything that I was like, okay, I got what the movie was trying to do. I enjoyed what the movie was trying to do. I thought it was fun. I really thought there was actually some stuff in there there was a joke in there that actually made me laugh, like legitimate laughter, and like I was surprised by that. A lot of this movie really. I'm surprised, like, the whole racist thing wasn't shoved down my throat, and I'm glad it wasn't. Like, because, like, there are some movies out there that were just, like, their message or something, just like, put it in your mouth. It's like, and there's some great talent in this movie. The acting is great. There's some great actors in it. They're given some great material. There really wasn't any characters I didn't like. Even the minor roles in this movie, like the very, very minor roles in the movie that I was interested in. Now, some stuff in it was like, their motives was really weird to me. I thought they could have done differently with that. I think it would have made a little more sense just the fact that they're racist. Or, because like, there was even a part of it that was like, oh, it's not about race, blah, blah, blah. I guess they would have made more sense of the movie if that was their motives. Because the motives in the movie that was really weird to me, and so help me, if this is trying to start a universe where it takes place in the same universe as Us, that's going to be weird, but just something about this movie really didn't sit well with me at some points. But overall, it was still an enjoyable film, and I'd very much recommend it if you want to give it a watch. But to give this a 3 out of 5, I'm not going to give it no higher than that because I really didn't enjoy it that much. But I hope you guys did. If you guys are going to enjoy it when I didn't, kudos to you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!